Good evening. Welcome to the 47th Mill Valley Film Festival. I am Mark Fishkin. I'm the founder and the director of the Film Festival and the California Film Institute, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. We have an incredible festival, and I think one of the most exciting opening nights that we have ever had. Before I bring up the talent, there's a couple of things I want to say and a couple of people that I would like to introduce to you. But I first want to acknowledge Raymond James. You saw the little teaser up there, and they are the sponsor of our opening night. So none of this could happen without their incredible generosity. They've been great partners to work with. So thank you, Raymond James. I'd also like to thank our official airline sponsor, Delta Airlines. They make it possible for us to bring in hundreds of guests. So thank you very much. I am so happy that you're here. This has been a very trying time for theatrical film going. And I just want to remind this audience that you really are the influencers. You are the people who come to the movies, you embrace these films, and you are going to be the reason that this theatrical form of exhibition and these kind of thoughtful, exciting thriller films and everything else that you enjoy when you come to the movies will exist into the next century. So thank you for what you do. Please keep doing it. Please keep coming to the movies and get your friends off the couch. So thank you very much. As I mentioned, we have the director with us, Edward Berger, and we also have Ray Fiennes, the star of Conclave. But before I introduce you guys, one second, I am going to bring up a very special person. This is, not that you're not special. I know your parents told you were, so I'm not going to contradict that. Jennifer McCready, I met her as a volunteer, and she was, from becoming a volunteer, she became a donor, very significant donor, and two-time president of our board of directors. She is now the honorary chairperson, Jennifer McCready.
Thank you. As always, I'm very thrilled to be here. And I must mention, 47 years is a hell of a haul. And we must thank Mark Fashkin for keeping us going through COVID, through wars, through strikes. And he's still here, and we're still here with him. And now I would like to, by the way, of course, he has wonderful women behind him, a beautiful, beautiful wife, and a program director, and gorgeous daughters. So he really doesn't do it on his own. But I would like now to thank all of you who so carefully, generously, and loyally supported us through COVID, through wars, through strikes, through having to close this theater because the county wanted certain things done. And you stayed with us, and you kept on supporting us, and we thank you so much. Absolutely wonderful. Now, in our lives, we've had and do have many Maggies, but we have our own special Maggie, Maggie O'Donnell, who is our president, who has weathered with us terrible storms this last year with grace and intelligence. And I'm going to bring Maddie up now to talk to you. Please give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. I'm Maggie O'Donnell. I am the CAFILM board president, and on behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome you all to the 47th Mill Valley Film Festival. It's going to be a fantastic festival. We've got a lot of incredible films, guests, panels, all the good stuff, and I know you're going to have a really great time. This year is actually a bit of a special year for the organization because it is the first year that the festival for CAFILM is the sole owner and operator of the Sequoia Theater. And while I know for those of you who have been coming for a while, if you look around, it may not be readily apparent, but there actually was quite a lot of work that we had to do to get the theater open this past year under our own banner. And I want to thank all of you for your generosity and support in helping us accomplish this achievement. It's really great, and we look forward to the future going forward with this. That said, we're not finished. With the pandemic in our wake and all of the associated challenges that we've had with that, the board is turning its attention back to our plans to do more complete renovation of the theater and to hopefully bring you all a world-class film and education center, as well as a community gathering place right here in downtown Mill Valley and a permanent home for the Mill Valley Film Festival. So again, thank you for all your support, and I'm going to turn it back to Mark. Enjoy.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. As I mentioned, Conclave is a beautiful, beautiful film from every aspect. And I was going to go through a lot of credits, but there's really no reason to go into everything. You are dealing here with Edward Berger, who is a master director. And if you don't know that as of yet, you will know that soon, and so will everybody else. This, they should have known it before, as he won 4 Academy Awards for All Quiet on the Western Front. And that is literally, makes that film, and he as director, directing the most successful international film of all time. And that's not the only thing he has done. And we are so fortunate to have him here. I'd also like to mention a few words about our other guest, the star of Conclave, Ralph Fiennes. He broke into the film business with Wuthering Heights in 1992, and since then we have been the beneficiary of films like Schindler's List, The English Patient, The Constant Gardener, wonderful film as well, Quiz Show, Oscar and Lucinda, and many others, including multiple performances in Harry Potter series and playing M in 3 Bond movies. So he's done it all. And I can't even have the time to go into his roles in theater, his Tony Awards, working with the National Theater, Royal Shakespeare Company, an incredible artist, both of them are. Please welcome Edward and Rafe.
Thank you very much for coming. Good evening.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you for having this wonderful film of Edward's, which I feel lucky to be part of, and it's wonderful to be. It's my first time in Mill Valley. Thank you. We're honoured and happy to be here, and we hope you like the film. Thank you very much.
Edward, would you like to say something?
Oh, absolutely. So I, as you said, Mark, I made a film before that took the crew and the cast into the freezing cold and mud in the Czech Republic. It wasn't a very pleasant shoot. It was loud. It was dirty. We were cold and everything. So I thought I owe them a trip to the most beautiful city on earth, Rome, to shoot there. And so we all went to Rome and met Rafe and made the film there. And it's a wonderful environment to make a film. It's really inspiring. We also shot in Cinecittà, which is where the studios outside of Rome, where Fellini made his movies, and where so many great Italian directors. Somehow Italian have a wealth of many things: food, culture, great film directors. So they found their home in the stage. Anyway, I thought I'd have to make this film in the most beautiful city on earth, until I came here and I realized how beautiful it is here. I couldn't believe it. So you're very, very lucky. I'm so pleased to be here. We're just 2 emissaries for this film with a wonderful cast. With, besides Rafe, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini, Carlos Diaz, Sergio Castellito, all these wonderful actors that were part of this film that I'm very, very happy that they said yes to. I had a wonderful crew. And we're just their representatives to share this film with you. And it's a huge honor that you came here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're running a little late, but I did want to take this opportunity, if it's okay, just to ask you each a question or so. And I know, Edward, you were literally working on this film when you accepted your Academy Awards. And I guess the real question is, and you mentioned Rome, and I know it's a fantastic novelist and screenwriter, Robert Harris, and there's many reasons why one would do it. But for you, what was personally really the reason? Because making any film is a huge endeavor. It's many, many years of your life. Could you just give us a clue into that?
Sure. So I think we wrapped on Saturday or Sunday, and the following Saturday were the Academy Awards. So I flew on that Monday. I flew to Los Angeles, and so yeah, it was right afterwards. The reason why I made the film, well, it was a script that felt to me, that felt very compelling to read. It felt like a chess game. It had a great precision. It had a great architecture, and I love films that are precise. And I felt I found one of the masters in this script, one of the master filmmakers that I adore, who's Alan Pakula, with Parallax View or All the President's Men, and I found sort of traces of him in this script, and I thought, oh, maybe this is my chance finally to make a movie like that. And on top of that, Peter Strawn is the screenwriter. He's such a whenever I read a script of his, it's not just a story, it's not just a movie. He's a deeply soulful, wonderful man, and you feel that soul, that second layer in the script. And somehow that is a great challenge to ask yourself, how do I put the soul in the movie? Like, how do I do that? And then you ask Rafe, and you push the responsibility over to him. Saying, okay, you put the soul into it.
So should we ask you about the soul of the movie in conjunction with what was the special moment for you? And again, there's so many obvious reasons, screenwriter from Tinker Tailor Soldier, etc. And but personally, why did this script in this project resonate with you? For you, yes.
Well, it's a funny thing. I think at the time I read the script, I'd planned that I'd finish a play. I was going to do another film that was scheduled a bit later than the window for Conclave. So I had sort of set my mind I was not going to do a film in the slot that Edward wanted to make this film. So I was sent the script. Oh, okay, I'll read the script. And it blew me away for one of the reasons Edward is saying. It blew me away. But obviously, as an actor, the first thing you look for is the character. What's the part? And I hadn't read the Robert Harris book, but here was this, I suppose, a man of faith, a Catholic cardinal, but there was a complexity to him, a man who had a reluctance about the hierarchical system he was in, but is a devout man, a man who's contemplating going into becoming a monk and living in a cloistered life. And I love this sort of contradiction, this conflict in him. Characters with conflict, interior conflict, are very interesting and challenging to play. And then, of course, as Edward has said, a wealth of wonderful other characters that were bringing other great actors into the mix. It functions like a political thriller, but there was a depth to the writing, and that's another thing as an actor you look for is what is the writing. do I feel that the words, the dialogue is going to be, is it natural? Is it believable? Does it have the right kind of tension? It's not too wordy like a play. It's not too banal like some screenplays can be. There was an intelligence, and I've read Peter's screenplays before. They're fantastic. He is a great screenwriter. I hadn't yet seen All Quiet on the Western Front. I had seen Edward's Melrose TV series, which is wonderful. And then I saw All Quiet on the Western Front, which completely shattered me. It's an extraordinarily disturbing film about the First World War. And I was in. I mean, I recognize here, as you described, a master filmmaker. But when I met Edward, I met this warm, alive intelligence, this hunger, this curiosity, and that's the thing I think as actors you want to have a curiosity from a director. Certainly I do, not just a sort of auteur who's going to sort of conduct the actors, but someone who's investigating. So that is the sort of combination of factors that made me want to do it.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making this film. I mean, I can't think anything better than accomplish as a thoughtful, spiritual thriller. And I thank you so much. And I promised Focus we wouldn't do any spoilers, and I think we did that, so we can congratulate ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the film.
Please join me in welcoming director Edward Berger and
Thank you. Thank you very much.
and actor Rafe Fiennes.
Nice welcome.
Well, it's a
wonderful,
it's
yeah.
a well-deserved welcome. Thank you so much for this film, and thank you for being here for our opening night. It means a lot. It's great.
Thank you.
So, when I first saw the film Conclave, I had no idea what I was getting into, and I'm curious how much you knew, Edward, about the conclave and the interior world of this very secret place, essentially, and also you, Rafe. I mean, what did you know about what the subject of this film was going to be about?
Well, I think we probably, I mean, I probably knew as much as you did. White smoke, black smoke, people come from all over the world
Right.
to select a pope, and you have to be cardinal. You know, the general rules, you know. But I mean, the purpose of like a big part of the conclave is that it's the most secretive election in the world behind closed doors. So you're not supposed to know anything.
Right.
But so that's kind of that's the intriguing thing, that you can start digging into it and try to find out what really happens and try to peek behind those doors and take you behind these doors.
And Rafe, did you have any idea of what was behind the doors?
No, I think many years ago, when I was a young boy, I saw an odd film with Anthony Quinn called Shoes of the Fisherman. And I think in that there's a conclave in the white smoke and black smoke. And I had a memory of that. But otherwise, I came to the project pretty ignorant about the specifics of what happens.
And putting it together, you have the most amazing cast here. Yeah, I can feel the applause.
It's a very, very lucky thing to have a wonderful cast.
Well, lucky, or how did that come together? And where did it start? And when did you two meet?
Well, it always starts with the lead, you know, and you want someone who you can I mean, we had it in our heads for some reason, don't ask me why, that Ralph Fiennes has to play this role. Yeah? And so for some reason, but probably because we knew that there is a lead in the film, who's not like a loud hero. He's a quiet person who likes to sort of observe and doesn't want to stand. I mean, doesn't want to stand in the first row, and so just wants to. He's a manager. It's said he's the manager, and there's other people who shine in the limelight, and let them take the and so you need someone who doesn't have the most lines. So you need someone where you can see what they are thinking in their eyes. You can, like a person who invites you into their interior life with their eyes. You can see what's going on behind their eyes. And one morning, Tessa, the producer, I wish she would be here, Tessa Ross, our producer, or I think we had it simultaneously. You know who should play this? It should be Ralph Fiennes, because he's a person, you can see what's going on behind his eyes. He doesn't need to say anything. I know what he's saying with his eyes. And so it starts with that. And luckily, he said, just imagine he would say no, then you'd have to rethink everything. But we were very lucky, and he accepted us into his life and read the script and agreed to do it. And then you slowly start designing the film around him, and find people who are very different, who are the opposite, and just sort of it's a wonderful puzzle piece. And with this script, it's a huge gift, because I think literally everyone just said yes.
That's incredible.
Usually everyone says no. You have to look for like 3 years but.
So, Rafe, when you first encountered the project, what about it attracted you? I mean, were you immediately drawn to it?
Yes, I thought I was very lucky. I mean, it's very rare you get scripts like this. It's very well written. When reading the script by Peter Strawn, it was a fantastic read. And obviously, as an actor, you're looking at what is the part like. It was a great part for anyone. It was wonderful. So I felt very lucky to have Edward approach me. But I didn't know him, but we met. He came to see a play I was in, and we met. I just loved everything about the script. I mean, the script is the foundation, as you know, for the film, and it read brilliantly, and it was and I love the journey of this man who is a reluctant manager of a conclave, and all the themes of power play within the Vatican. But actually what I liked about the script was it wasn't a cynical takedown of the Vatican. I understood it to be, it's a search for the right person. And I feel there is the right person. It ends up the person who holds a real deep sense of a sort of spiritual authority. Maybe authority is not the right word, but the person who ends up being Pope in this, I feel, is the right person. And I like the fact that it wasn't a film that wanted to do a film about the Vatican, about the conclave, could be much more cynical than this, and it's not. And I like the intelligence behind in Robert Harris's book and in the screenplay. And of course, there are wonderful. I mean, when you're approached as an actor, you're looking to who's going to direct you, and who you're going to act with. And very quickly, I immediately, I mean, at a human level, I loved Edward on a first meeting. And immediately he was incredibly inclusive and collaborative and wanted to talk and engage. And I just felt that's quite rare to have a director lean in. And I think all the actors felt that. What you felt working with Edward was the care and the curiosity about what is this world, how do we realize it. A lot of research was done, I think, into it, but you also brought your own sort of artistic curiosity to it, but always it felt so rooted in tried to. I just loved how you were really investigating. We couldn't know everything about a conclave because it is secret, but we had a lot of religious advisors that were advising us. It just felt. All I can say is it felt rich in all aspects.
It's interesting too, the sort of the trajectory that the characters go through. I mean, there are a lot of secrets. It almost gets to be a crisis of faith as well, and doubt. In developing the character between the two of you, did you map out the trajectory of where he comes from and what he goes through, or were you sort of doing that in the moment?
So we had a few dinners before, wonderful dinners in Rome, you can imagine, where we took the script and leafed through it and just talked about the scenes. It's not really that to be honest, I don't, sometimes people have this conception of directing as, going up to an actor and saying, "Oh, I think I didn't feel it. You have to do it. You have to feel it." I don't think you didn't feel it. You have to do it again. That's all crap in my. This is Ray Fiennes, and you have Stanley Tucci, and what am I going to tell him that he didn't feel it? Yeah. So it's really about talking about before. In the end, he's going to know much more about the character than I will. Because he lives with it day in and day out. So to me, it's much more like, do we trust each other? Do we want the same thing from at least most of the scenes? You're going to have some disagreements and some, I think I would do it this way. But do we want the same thing out of the scenes? And what's the arc of the story? So we leafed through the script. I don't think we ever got done, to be honest. Like we got halfway through or something, and then we had to start shooting. But at least sort of we knew the ramp. We knew where we wanted to go and what and that's what we talked about. And then you sort of have an agreement, and then you just do it. And then I think a lot of the work is, let's say in mapping that out, is I have sort of in my mind, I'm thinking, he's probably going to play it like this, and that's why we need to shoot it, and he's going to sit there, and they're going to sit. So that's why these are the cameras. So I have it all kind of mapped out. But on the day, the task is also to stay open and see, Rafe plays it like this. I didn't think of that. It's really different. So I'm going to have to adjust the camera and film it differently because he does this moment that I never thought about. But that's why he's Cardinal Lawrence, and not me. And so I need to capture that, and I need, we play off each other. It's like a collaboration, and that's wonderfully inspiring.
Well, I think that probably works both ways. It sounds like, the other thing with the film is that it's working on a very grand level, at one, huge, but it's also very, very specific and very close up emotionally and in every other way. But how is that for you, Rafe? It sounds like, I'm sort of curious about the relationship that gives you with the camera in the way that it's been set up, because there are a lot of very close...
Well, I think every film is different, and you learn quite quickly, or you intuit quite quickly what every director has a different energy, a different approach, how much they communicate with you, and sometimes it's not even so. It's not actually what's said; it's just the feeling, the energy with every director is different. I don't know that I came. I think I thought a lot about the part, a lot about the scenes. I liked this man. I liked his dilemma. I liked him. I think he's a good man. He's obviously has a moment of ambitious weakness in the film. We see that. He's not without his flaws. But I think you come with an offer as an actor on a set. I don't come. I hope I mean, it's weird. It's weird actually. I like to think I come. I've done my homework. this is what I'm going to I do. And then sometimes I know a director might say something and you go, thank you, that's a great idea. And other times you feel, no, actually, this is how I want to play it. But with Edward, I just felt this really wonderful I offer something. You seem to shoot it, wait, and then there seemed to be a moment when we both knew, or you knew, and I felt happy that you knew that we had got that moment. But I felt it was a good collaborative energy. It wasn't. I just have I have a very benign memory of it being. We didn't talk a lot. We didn't. We had that one dinner where we analysed some scenes, and after that, I felt I turned up with the other actors and we played, and you just made little suggestions and. It wasn't. It didn't feel over debated or over fussy. It felt like there was a flow of energy, of understanding. That felt great.
This, as you just mentioned, the other actors. I mean, this is an extraordinary group of actors, and I think one of the things that is striking is it's almost like you compose this like music. That each actor has almost like a different tone or rhythm or beat, and that we see that evolve during the film. Because I mean, one of the other things that's really striking is that this is a very verbal film, as opposed to All Quiet on the Western Front, which I think has probably got about 3 words in it.
I got so nervous about shooting so many words. I thought, like, I can't do it.
But what, as you were going in to working with this incredible ensemble of actors, what were your goals? What were what was the sensibility that you were working with in putting them together? Because to me, it feels kind of like music.
I mean, that's so wonderful that you see that. And I had forgotten about it, to be honest. But we had you kind of, when you cast, you kind of go, oh, this person has it. Often it's actually voice. It's not even, but you see, like, okay, that person speaks naturally. It feels right. It doesn't matter what they look like, but they feel authentic. They feel natural. And then also they feel like they bring a different timbre, like a different a tone to the film, that it's not all, because if it's all on the heavy side or all on the light side, it doesn't it's too one note. And so if you want a change from Rafe's diction,
Yeah.
you want a change from Stanley Tucci's diction. You just like, it's like nice to read, oh, there's a difference there, And for example, and I heard it first, and you imagine it in your head, and then we had a reading before the shooting, and then you suddenly heard all these voices. You had wonderful Sergio Castellito, the Italian. Basically, he could, he pretended, when I cast him, he pretended he could speak English. Turns up in the reading, he really couldn't speak English. Yeah, so and so Rafe, we turned it more and more Italian. Rafe was keen to speak Italian because obviously this gentleman has lived in Rome for 30 years. He's probably studied there. He must be fluent in Italian and Latin. So, that was great. It was actually that Sergio not speaking English turned into like, okay, let's make more of the movie in Italian. Like really reusing everyone's strength. And there's a wonderful actor in the movie, and I love every time he comes. And I really remember when he in the reading, because he makes it a bit lighter, which is Brian O'Byrne, who is basically Rafe's right-hand person, an Irish actor, and he has like a wonderful, like, small humor, very gentle and very. It's a real great warmth to him, and he's really essential for the movie. And it's a tiny role. He probably had 6 shooting days, but he's very essential as a counterbalance, so that the thoughtfulness works. And it's so wonderful how every voice sort of brings life to the movie, and it's sort of it's really it's magic, you know, when you have these people bring their craft, their love to a film, and then hopefully you can only pray that it somehow pays off.
I came into the theatre for the last little bit of the film, and it was kind of great to witness, because when I saw it before, there were just like 4 or 5 of us in the room, but to watch a group reacting to the denouement at the end was pretty special. It's like we go along this trajectory, and then all of a sudden there's something completely different. Talk about that as just dramatically, or how you worked with playing it. I mean, because that's a beautiful scene, actually.
The scene
When he reveals his operation or lack of operation.
Well, it was clearly, we were, I mean, when you have those scenes, you sort of know, I mean, unless there's a massive rewrite, they're going to be in the film. And you know it's the denouement. I just remember it being very focused. I thought Carlos was wonderful. And Edward, again, you just allowed us the space to play. I just remember I just must listen. Lawrence must listen. He mustn't, there must be no quick judgment in his face. I didn't think he's the man. He listens. And I think he listens with the audience listening to what Carlos is saying. And he leans into it. A lot of Lawrence's role is about listening, really, really listening. And listening should be active and present. Of course, Carlos is saying, this is my history, this is who I am. I thought it was a beautifully written piece, very beautifully touching. It was surprisingly, I mean, we did a lot of takes, I remember. We did a lot of coverage. And again, what I feel is, I don't know if you seem, Edward, by allowing another take, the actor goes another level down. Oh, it's okay, I go again, like a breath. Whoa. Okay, let's see what, and you encourage this wonderful sense of permission, which is a real gift. Not a lot of directors, you feel their anxiety if you're looking at the watch, or they come in with something, a note, not a very good note. But Edward has this wonderful gift for allowing, and I think that's a real, real rare gift. And it's as if he's waiting with you. And it's not a technique. It feels like a human response to this thing that can unfold. If I allow it, give it permission, it will unfold. And that's a wonderful arena to be allowed to be in as an actor on a film set. And that was particularly, I remember that particularly, we all knew the value of the scene. It's the final scene. So that atmosphere of permission to keep going, and I like, you always come with a bit of self-consciousness, and the more takes you do, I mean, it's a weird thing, how many takes is required, you never really know. But the more you can just lose yourself in a moment and let the moment flow through you as you respond to the other actor, whether you're listening or talking, that is when you're lost in it, that's best. And I don't like it when I feel I get a little voice that's slightly directing me, or literally half a second's gone by and a bit of my head bread is going, oh, was that any good? Well, that was quite good. No, it wasn't. And that's so when that voice stops and you're literally present, that's when I feel you're in a flow. And I think Edward creates that atmosphere. And that was, sorry, to a long-winded answer to your question, but it was that atmosphere that was present in the shooting of that scene.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I'm really, I mean, when you think about it, Rafe doesn't say that much in the scene. And it's really hard to I mean, he does in the beginning, you know, he wants the answer, and then he gets the answer, and then there's like 3 more questions. Carlos has the explanation to do, you know, but it's really, and that was what I said earlier about a person who invites you into their thought process, into their soul in a way, and like what's going on inside. And that is really a very difficult thing to do. And I just remember, wherever it was, in that scene or in other scenes, like sitting behind the monitor or sitting behind the camera and just being amazed of that I understood every time non-verbally what he was thinking. And that's a wonderful, and that's a really, and for to transport that to you, you have to put the camera in the right place. Yeah, if it's too far away, you're not going to get it. If it's like from the side, or if it's always just frontal, it's just going to wear off. So it's just has to be in the right moment, in the right position, and that's and just like while you sit there and look at it and you listen. It's just a wonderful thing to be invited into the interior world, and that was a great thing to witness.
Well, thank you both for welcoming us into this incredible interior world. It's been a super pleasure to have both of you here, to have the film as our opening night for Mill Valley Film Festival. So great gratitude to you both.
Thank you.
It's a big honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.